What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ranch. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We don't have a bottle to review. We don't got some important booze news. Instead, I'm going to be judging your bourbon collections. Now, this is just a new series idea that kind of sparked during my last live stream where people started sending me pictures of their collections, and I was like, hey, what a great idea to put all of you on blast and or cry when I see how awesome of bottles that you got. I don't really have a name for this. We'll figure that as we go. We're just gonna call it Judging Your Bourbon Collection for now. So if you have a great idea of what we can call this series of videos that we will periodically do, leave a comment down below, help me out. Let's get right into this first person's collection, the inaugural bourbon collection judgment of the Ranch. It is gonna be none other than former Army veteran Joe Thompson. Sergeant First Class, do some freaking push-ups. Absolutely awesome. Joe was actually the person that kind of sparked this whole idea. He was mentioning in the comments in the chat that he was building his bourbon bar. He was setting up this new table he had, and I was like, hey, send me a picture of this bar you got going on. And then that turned into a lot of people. So before we get into Joe's collection, just want to give a huge thank you, Joe, for serving this country, protecting all of our freedoms, fighting, sacrificing, giving up everything that you had to give up for us. I absolutely thank you. We love taking care of our fellow veterans over on the Bourbon Ranch. We love to hear your stories. We love to share your stories, and we love to keep them alive. So absolutely love you, Joe. Let's judge your collection. All right, so here we go. This is his bar. Heck yeah. This is what appears to be turning into the Bourbon Man Cave. And we'll scroll in a little bit so we can see everything that's going on. And we're gonna go bottle by bottle. We're gonna talk about the ones we see, what we know, what we've tried. So far, nice. Absolutely great collection there. And again, there's no telling what all he has. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's not. This is a great display. Absolutely love it. Love the table. Before we even get into the bottles, okay, I'm a sucker for everything. Shelving, decorations, the table. This table is very nice. I like the little, it just fits, bourbon table. The shelves on the wall, I mean, that just looks classy. You know, the staves, gotta have the bunghole stave. You gotta have the bunghole stave. And the lighting fixtures, just classic, you know, bourbon speakeasy type of thing. So, all right, let's just start up at the top here. We're gonna go through, just discuss, see what I see, what I've tried, what I think about them. So, a couple of the Chattanooga over here. I'm not that familiar with the Chattanooga stuff. I've heard good things. I've also heard that they're, you know, pretty malty, and a lot of the malty things I don't really care for. The one I have is pretty dang malt. It's the port finish. The port's heavy, the malt's heavy. The Chattanooga Bottled and Bond, which that very well might be it right here. Very, very good. So if you want to branch out into something you might not have tried, Chattanooga Bottled and Bond for sure. Right next to it looks like a very old Saint Nick. And I don't know a whole lot about those. I know they can get very expensive. I know that they're all very old. And this one looks like it's a 12-year-old. Those are all over the place. I've never even tried one. I have no idea where the whiskey comes from, who they're sourcing it from. I couldn't imagine that they're doing all of this age stuff on their own, but I don't know. I really don't know. I kind of pass them by just because they are all pretty dang expensive. So if you guys know anything about that, let me know if they're worth picking one up. Got an Old Forester single barrel proof, absolute classic. You can't go without that. Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond. I've heard great things. I'm pretty sure that's new, like 2023 release type of bottle. They're out of Missouri, and I did try them at a whiskey festival. Really good stuff. It wasn't like my favorite thing. I know a lot, it's getting a lot of hype lately. A lot of people just talking about, oh, this is amazing. It didn't blow me away, but I did really like it. It's just another bottle that you should add to your collection type of thing. Great daily zipping type of bottle. You know, really good stuff. Old Ezra. I was gonna say that looks like the Old Ezra 7 barrel proof, but then that kind of looks, it looks like it says rye. I haven't tried the rye because the rye was much more expensive than the Old Ezra bourbon. So it went up like 30, 40 bucks, at least on the shelves around me. So I haven't tried the rye one yet. The bourbon, it was decent for 40 bucks. Again, its price went up too. Got a couple of Michter's stuff. That's the Michter's just bourbon, and then the Michter's Sour Mash. I've tried the Michter's bourbon many years ago. Couldn't tell you a whole lot about it anymore. I mean, I've drank since then, but I mean, it was okay. The Michter's Sour Mash, I haven't tried that one. I would be interested in trying all the other Michter's line of stuff. They just not that popular around here. Just don't see them that often. Here is an absolute classic. There's a Bell Mead that label has retired. They retired the Bell Mead line. They went over to the Nelson Greenbrier label. That's the distillery that it's made at. I actually still think they source. At least some of their cast strength stuff. I do know they have their own stuff, but I believe the Bell Mead replacement stuff is basically the same as what it was. So there's that. Let's just move down. Let's stick to the left side of the shelf, then we'll move on over. Don't really know what that is. Detroit City Bourbon. Have no idea what that is behind me there. Don't really know what that is. Classic. He's got 3 of these Four Roses single barrel proof private selects. Those range anywhere from really freaking good to gosh darn amazing. So it's almost like you can't go wrong with one of those type of bottles. Again, we've noticed the price increase in those too. I used to be able to could get one for 75, 85 bucks. Now it's, I believe, starting retail is supposed to be 100. I know they go even higher than that. So it is what it is. They're really good though. Then we got some Larceny Barrel Proof. Can't tell which batch it is, but judging how one is lower than the other one, either A, Joe likes that one better, or B, this is an earlier batch than that. A bunch of Knob Creeks there. Basically the whole line of Knob Creek, or a lot of them. The Knob Creek 9, 100 proof, classic, period. If you're looking for just a staple, standard pour, I would always recommend you regular Knob Creek 9. You gotta have one on your shelf. Then the Knob Creek 9 single barrel, again, great option to work your way up into barrel proof stuff. It's 120 proof, and it's not barrel proof, but close enough. You know, it's gonna give you that idea. Then we got, looks to be a Knob Creek Private Select. Again, really good, really good. You can get different age statements. I don't really know how old of an age statement they're doing on those anymore, or how old they're getting. You know, back in the day, we could get 15-year-old Knob Creek picks that were phenomenal. Now it's like, I don't think you really see one past 11. Mostly 9, 10-year-old picks. Then a Knob Creek 12, classic. Really good bottle, absolutely love it. What's that over here? Henry McKenna Sour Mash. It looks like an old decanter bottle. That's pretty cool. And a bunch of Staggs. A bunch of Staggs. You know what I don't notice? I'm looking. Maybe I should try and zoom in even more. I know my zoom is a bit janky. I don't really see any junior in this G here. So are all these the newer Stagg? You know what I'm saying? Joe, what is that? How'd you get so many of these new ones? Where's the Stagg Junior, man? That's cool though. They've all got to be different. Look, they're all different fill levels. You know, he's drinking them, you know? I love it. Then he's got the Weller line, Weller Special Reserve, Weller 12, a backup Weller 12, and an open Weller 12. That's what I love to see. If you're gonna have a closed bottle of whiskey, it better be because the one is closed. You know what I'm saying? You have a spare. That's what I like about that. Weller 107 Antique and Weller Full Proof Classic. Then we'll just make our way over, then back up. How about that? Augusta Buckner. Don't really know what that is, but he's got it front and center. So maybe that's something pretty good. Behind that's the old E.H. Taylor line. Looks like maybe all of them. So the straight rye, single barrel, and small batch. So he's got those three. That's pretty cool. Old Rip. I can understand that one. If you're going to have, you know, everything else in your collection's open, then you have an Old Rip. I get it. Save that for something cool, you know, or not. Just open it. But I love the Rip Tins label, you know. Such a cool bottle. Keep on going. Let's keep on moving. We're just going through every single bottle. If someone sends me a collection of hundreds and hundreds of bottles, there's no way. We're going to have to skip through it. This is how I end up talking for 40 minutes, you know. He's got a Blanton's Gold label. Nice. And Rock Hill Farms. So he's got quite the bit of the Buffalo Trace stuff going on there. Jack Daniels looks like maybe this barrel proof rye. Single barrel proof rye, which is really cool. And a Jack Daniels bottle that I am not familiar with. That looks, two of them, a couple of those Jack Daniels bottles. Really don't know what that is. Either of those. I couldn't even tell you. Next to a Jack Daniels 10. Behind all those, you got some Elijah Craig barrel proof. Gotta have them. And maybe an Elijah Craig 18 hiding in there. One Maker's bottle. I'll take it. You gotta have one Maker's, you know. You got to. Eagle Rare, New Riff, Penelope Architect. Ironfish. Don't really know what an Ironfish is. Haven't tried that. Looks like maybe a Peerless there. Peerless Double Oaked or something. And then a Woodford Double Oaked. Then some Sagamore hiding back there. Sagamore, again, like, you gotta have some Sagamore. If you haven't tried Sagamore, you need to get on the Sagamore train. That's all I'll say about that. Let's move up. It looks like his Wild Turkey shelf with some Blantons. You know, you gotta have the Blantons on display. You know, and he's got a little cute mini Blantons. Cute. Got some Rare Breed, Kentucky Spirit, Russell's 10, Russell's Reserve Single Barrel, a newer Russell's Reserve Single Barrel, and a Russell's 13. Bam, done. Like, if you needed 6 bottles of perfection, there you go. You're good. You're set. That hits every mark that you could want. Love it. And then the last shelf, he's got a couple Lucky 7s. Looks like a Lucky 7 12-year. Fantastic bottle. So good. Fantastic bottles. Then another Lucky 7. I don't know what that one is, but Lucky 7, man. They're another brand that it's like they just came out of nowhere and they're dropping amazing stuff. Looks like a couple Bowman bottles, the single barrel and the port, I believe. It looks like the Jim Beam single barrel. And then we got a couple 1792 bottles. Looks like a bottled in bond pick or a single barrel pick. Can't tell with the lighting, but it's one of those, and it's a pick. Probably really good. The Full Proof small batch. Got a 13th Colony. I believe that's the bourbon. Gotta be the bourbon 13th Colony. Again, they've been taking the world by storm lately. Really good stuff. And then lastly, a Sazerac Rye back there. Awesome. Let's scroll out a little bit. The scrolling, I'm gonna have to figure that out to make it a little better. But nice collection. We hit everything. We hit everything. So there we have it. The inaugural video of reviewing your collection. Basically, I just talked about what you had and which bottles I have and like, you know, but I love that you have a wide variety of different bottles. It's not all just stuck to one brand. And most importantly, I love that a lot of them are open. Most of them are open, and it appears that most of the ones that aren't open are backups to ones that are open. So absolutely love that. You can't bring the whiskey with you. You know what I'm saying? open the bottles, enjoy them, share them with friends, and just have a good old time. If you like this video, please leave a like on it and comment what you liked about it. If you want to be a part of this, you can email me at bourbonwrench@gmail.com. Send your collection, any merchandise, Bourbon Wrench merchandise that you have. Show off what you got, and I will eventually, we're just gonna knock these out. We can do more of them as I get better and I don't just rant the entire time. Maybe we can do multiple people in each video. So thanks for joining this new series of mine. Hope you liked it. I'm Trev Wilson. I will see you guys in the next video.